Hello goblins, it's Chris, Eldritch Pipes, back with a new Pipe Makers series, and today we're looking at Micah Cryder, otherwise known as Yeti Pipes. Micah is an extraordinary artist, but while some pipe makers' work I've kind of latched onto immediately, it's taken some time for me to understand where Micah was really coming from. I like to see the pipe maker's personality in their work, and I didn't get it with Micah for a while, but slowly the penny started to drop, and I'm just kind of in awe of what he accomplishes. So there's quite a lot to talk about. We can't look at everything that he's done. He's done lots, but he falls into the American / Danish pipe style. So we're looking at sort of high grade pipes. He sort of hunts for the grain like a Rottweiler. His sense of colour is what really chimes with me, and you'll see a couple of features that he loves that I really like. But it slowly dawned on me, his sense of humour. He's got a really impish sense of humour that comes through when he's making pipes. So he will take these really high grade shapes like Eskimos and blowfish and elephant's feet and the rest of it, and then we'll just do something bizarre with them, which I really like. So let's take a look. So, all right, talking about high grade shapes and Eskimos, I'm going to show you this one first. I think this is quite a recent pipe. In fact, we're going to be kind of looking at his pipes in reverse. We're going to be travelling backwards in time, I think, somewhat. So, look at this Eskimo, right? This extremely non-standard Eskimo. Like, the finish on it is beautiful, and we might talk a little bit about his finish because it's kind of exquisite. Whether he's doing smooth or sandblast, but obviously smooth does have that way of catching your eye, and he really pushes his contrasts into the dark end of the spectrum for the most part. What in this one anyway. So it looks like he's been experimenting with how dark he can get the contrast, and then you get these flashes, these golden flashes. It's very much, I guess, his version of a golden contrast stain, but pushed to the max. And you got straight grain going on the side. Like I say, he's a grain maniac. He just goes for it, and obviously this is an Eskimo, so it has lots of bird's eye on the top and bottom faces. But there's three features that I really want to sort of point out here. One is the plateau on the rim. This is definitely a feature that you're going to see loads on his pipes, and I really like that. I really like plateau being used. Even if it's a smooth pipe, I like plateau showing up somewhere. It's just, I like the contrast between the kind of that smooth, the pipe maker imposing these smooth surfaces, and then letting the nature of the briar show up somewhere. And although Mike uses it in a few places, most favoured place, it's the most obvious place as well, as kind of made for it is to use it on the rim of the pipe. And he's kind of, not only that, but like the actual scoop of the Plateau is employed in the rim here, which is really unusual. But we'll see this idea come up again, so that's worth noticing. And so it really impacts the shape of the Eskimo in a really sort of organic, unusual way. I'm just going to point out the contrast stain on the shank face and the countersink, both of which have been polished, which is a level of attention you don't normally see. That can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, sanding the face of the shank, because like go wrong and you've messed up your flush fit. And the other thing, like the elephant in the room, not to ignore, is that he's just gone and put a pink stem on it, which I just could picture him just like chuckling as he did it. Gonna take this like serious pipe, serious grain, serious contrast finish, and I'm just gonna smash a pink stem on it. That's the kind of attitude that I admire. A brief look at this next pipe. I haven't got loads of pictures of this one. I just wanted to show this one. It's kind of like a mashup between a blowfish, I guess, and a cavalier with a violet stem. And if you can just look at the contrast staining with the bird's eye on that face. I mean, there's just so much going on there. So it's really wonderful. Again, it's like pushing that contrast stain sort of into the darker contrast stain. So rather than it being a bright finish with dark details, he likes to push it into the dark finish with bright details, which is eye-catching. And we'll get this idea that Micah's kind of like got this magpie eye, a little bit like me, attracted to bright shiny things. All right, this next one is a horn, and like again, it's like a really humorous caricature, really, of a horn, but employing all the high grade touches. So it's a horn. It's got a little plateau on the rim, which is nice. It's got like flawless, smooth finish on it. The grain is like super lovely, but it's this ridiculous length. I think it's like 9.5 inches long or something. It's like getting on for being a church warden. Add another couple of inches. And again, I don't know, I get a sense of enjoyment of making a pipe like that. This high grade pipe that is kind of at this ridiculous length. Alright, now this next pipe, okay, called a naughty fish, which is a great name. I guess it's like meant to be a mashup between blowfish and a nautilus, or at least some evoking that feeling. And again, we've just got, just on this first picture, you know, you've got reams of bird's eye on that face, a really curious shape into the shank, but the lines are going to go crazy here. Let's just have a look at the next one. A bit of plateau on the bowl, which is really nice, just giving it that splash of nature working in. Contrast stain, high contrast stain, again pushing it quite dark with just these like golden sparkles, it looks like. It's shot from above. You can see, so the straight grain running over the bowl, over the top of the bowl. The really highlighted, sort of like the facets, left and right of the bowl. The really bizarre tail of the shank. Strange shape, but really kind of, what's the word? Just has this sort of flow to it, aquatic flow to it. And then this look underneath. We can see all these like different lines and facets from the different areas of the pipe all sort of like crossing over. Like really like, they started out wide at the bowl and at the shank, then kind of like crunching together underneath before sort of like moving on. Wow. Like to keep those lines crisp throughout the shaping and sanding process. Yeah. And of course, a bright green stem in the thing. How can you not be amused by that? Any other pipe maker on the planet would have used an ebonite stem. So this is a possibly more standard shape. Definitely a more standard shape. Just like a Dublin. We went Dublin. Just wanted to show, like, here, the detail in the blast. I really like Micah's blasts. He's sort of like taken a step back from like the uber craggy blasts that have sort of dominated the pipe world of late. It's been really popular to go super craggy, and sort of Micah's like not gone there. He's like kept it solidly in the medium, but just lots and lots of detail, like just loads of super fine detail. You're getting like the straight grain detail, you're getting the ring detail. It's all there. It's on top of a plateau, which is like super detailed. Where's the shot of the rim? Yeah, so like massive detail. You could tell like this block of briar was crammed with grain. And on top of all of that, puts a like zinging orange stem. All of these colours are they're really curious. We're going to talk about the stems a little bit later. We'll come back to these, but it's just really nice. It's an unusual colour palette because he's using vintage Bakelite. And so he's using colours that no one else is using, and it really stands out. And Bakelite has this great quality of being slightly translucent, so it virtually glows. And the colour palette itself it's unique. Yes. We'll come back to that. Oh, I will just touch on safety. Every time Bakelite comes up, people talk about safety. Bakelite is safe as the end user. The only person it poses any danger to is the pipe maker working it, because it's the Bakelite dust that can cause issues. But if you've seen Micah's setup and his dust extraction, it's like, it's like next level. So he takes this very seriously, as you have to. All right. Now, this next little fellow, what can we call it? Kind of like an apple-y sort of shape. Contrast blast. There's a little plane going overhead. Hello. And this like really marvellous kind of like chocolate banana kind of look to it. But really like spending all the time to get the ring grain out on the blast. Getting a really nice balance in the contrast blast. And then look at the rim. The scooped Plateau rim that we saw on the Eskimo before. And so like it's obviously like a little design element. In fact, when Briar does that, when it goes concave, it can be difficult to know what to do with those. Like the sides come up and then it sort of dips down and going, what am I going to do with that? Micah obviously knows what he's going to do with it. He's going to stick it on the rim. And make a real feature of it. Alright, I included the Ramses just because it's a high grade shape. Just wanted to show you that the sort of complexity of that design. In fact, he's just like amped up the complexity by doing the kind of like Art Deco stem work, which I just don't even want to think about. I mean, shaping it is one thing, polishing it another. Just wild. So yeah, I only given one shot of that Ramses because, it's showing you everything. You can see the grain just like rippling up. Very lovely. This saxophone, it looks like it has some kind of like genetic link with a calabash shape. But this is really lovely. Again, it's that contrast blast pushed right to the dark end of the spectrum. So you just get these flashes of light grain. So attractive. And then this kind of buttercream, buttermilk coloured stem. I've got a couple of shots of it because, like, man, there's like you can see the bird's eye on the front of that saxophone. Just the depth of colour is really, it's really striking. I mean, man, and then on the other side of the bowl, it's just going gangbusters. That's super cool. And it's just like, on shots like that, when you just like see the light just going, these straight lines, I mean, like, this thing is sanded smooth to perfection. Alright, I just got this little shot because I just wanted to show you another pipe and how he utilises Plateau. And there was just this great shot of this shape. I think it's a cobra. and I was just positioned it in the briar so like the plateau is just like wrapping around the shape. Really cool. Okay, these next couple of pipes I'm going to show you was just to show you how relentless he is with grain. Obsessed by it, I would say. If it's there, he'll find it. So here we go with a kind of a bent egg, and it's just grain going up the side of the bowl. I don't have another angle on that, but it just all going that way. This kind of mini volcano. Again, the grain just like sort of impressively straight grain, tightly packed. You get some blocks of briar, I'll tell you that. A kind of panel shanked Dublin fellow. So you can imagine like the plateau's on the top. So he shaped it with the plateau on top. In fact, there might be another picture of that somewhere, and I bet you it looks like could be plateau on the rim. So that's why the grain is coming down like that. This kind of acorn shape. Wow. Well, you can see like it's nice straight grain. I wondered whether he was tortured about whether to make that an Eskimo or not. That straight grain at the side. Maybe it wasn't big enough to do it. See, plateau on the rim. And just really tight grain just going along the shank as well. A little pot here, and again tight straight grain on the bowl. This kind of like chunky Dublin sitter. I do find that a lot of his forms are quite generously proportioned. Maybe that's the way to put them. I mean, I kind of have a habit of shaping pipes large as well, but whether these pipes are large or not, I don't know, but they just have this kind of like, they sit like fat boys. But grain flowing up the bowl, a kind of a rounded stem that I don't think I've seen on many of his pipes. Normally does just like a saddle. And then this other curious bent sitter with this kind of bowl kind of like leaning over. That looks like a large pipe. But you know, just taking advantage of that bend of the grain. Another volcano, this time like shoved into the darker. Actually, it's kind of like 50-50, this contrast. So it's almost like a zebra, but like, you know, it's like making full use of the straight grain, taking the time to just show it off. Just going to show you a couple here. So this is like a little sandblasting section, because it does do a remarkable amount of smooth pipes. But just to show his like sandblasting as well, just seeing the detail, it doesn't fail to get the ring grain. You can't. Briar is funny, and you know, different blocks will just blast differently, and so you take a block in and you don't know what you're going to get out. But Micah again is relentless, making sure that if there's a ring to find, he will get it out. Lovely cross shot on, this time getting the ring grain going across the bowl vertically. Super nice. And I included this last one just because just showing the high contrast blast as well. So he really is focused on getting the most out of his pipe, which is, I really admire that. If there's colour to be had, he makes it pop. If there's grain to be had, he makes that pop. If there's interesting textures to be found, he makes it work. All right. Let's talk about colour and Bakelite. So, if you look back through his work, there's I think he said he started making pipes in 2011. And for a couple of years you can see he's treading just like the ebonite path, which is, we all do it pretty much. And then there's a post in his Instagram about 4 years ago of his partner of his wife giving him like this Bakelite disc. I don't know if it's a button or what, but it's a disc of this like really intense blue Bakelite. And then from about 6 months after that, suddenly, like, there's a colour explosion. And you can see just like, it's just making it work with everything. So he's really letting now the stem be a feature. And it really sort of, I don't know, it feels like it's a gear shift in his work. So there's like this pre-Bakelite period and this post-Bakelite period. And then he's just using all these like stunning pieces. Because, Bakelite is hard to find. There is a lot of fake Bakelite out there because it's expensive. So, if you can forge it, you can make some money. So here's a couple. I think I've shown you a couple of like group stem pieces. And there's like this acorn with this like sky blue stem, which is just really pretty. And then I've just loved this colour contrast of black with this like honey yellow stem, just like, I don't know, it's just like, that contrast is just like super great. And then you see like these like violet stems, and they always just like leap off the page. Again, kind of like another little like fat acorny shape. Plateau on the rim, as we've come to expect. And there is like a domed stem piece. And again, it's like this, like, I don't know whether you call this like a fat acorn or bent Dublin or something like that. It's kind of like a very sort of freehand shaping, but it's black, loads of detail in the sandblast, and then this like lemon yellow stem just. And this one, what a great shot that is. I just really like, so there's like cobra, blasted black stem, but then this intense violet or deep blue ring being the one focus of colour just looks futuristic. All right. That was amazing. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't heard of Micah before, go find him on Instagram and be amazed at all of his work. And if you have heard of him and you already knew about him, well, lucky you. All right. That's it for this episode. So, until next time, take it very easy. Your loyal pipe maker.